Yes, I am working on a Volume 4 review. Please be patient! So .hack GU Last Recode is out and sharing the good word of .hack GU across America and Europe, which has left a lot of fans wondering, so what happens to the first series now? And someone brought this to Twitter. Someone just asked CC2 directly, so can we expect this for the first series? Can we expect a remake or a remaster or a re-release of some kind for the first series? And CC2 responded. They responded that they would actually be open to the idea if the demand is there. Hi CC2, nice to meet you. My name is Demand, and I'm right here. Skaith. And just a little side note I think is worth mentioning. Bandai Namco is aware that CC2 tweeted it. They deleted it. They deleted it like 10 minutes after they tweeted it. But the same day that CC2 tweeted that they'd be open to the idea if the demand is there, Bandai Namco quoted the tweet with cough cough in it, and again, they deleted it like 10 minutes later, but there is a single screenshot floating around proving that they did. In fact, I'll have it on screen now. So Bandai Namco is aware of this, at least. How aware? Can't say, but they know that it's an idea CC2 is open to. But, oh, I hear some of you. You're wondering, Kennedy, why all your bias and love for .hack out the door? Why is this a big deal? Well, sit down, son, and I will explain to you why this is the second biggest deal of 2017, second only to the fact that Last Recode came out. This is the first .hack series we're talking about here. .hack Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, Quarantine, generally called IMOQ. It's a stupid word, but I haven't heard anything better to call it. Anyways, this is where the roots, no pun intended, of .hack are. These games are 15 years old, and they laid the foundation for the rest of the series. And not only that, but these games are just as, maybe even more beloved than the GU trilogy. As a matter of fact, on the Livecast recently, we did a poll for which .hack series people like best, and the majority vote went to the first series. It's definitely the more iconic of the two, at the very least. More people definitely know who Kite is than Haseo. But I can sit here and tell you about how great the first series is all day, and if you haven't actually played it, it won't really do you any good. So, let me lay out the business reasons why this could be a great decision. So the way I see it, there are two more business-oriented reasons to make a re-release of the first series. First and foremost being to keep the hype train rolling. With the release of Last Recode, we are seeing two kinds of people come up. The first are a lot of these new fans getting into .hack who have a shortage, nay, a drought of content for .hack that they can get into. Project Cross Zone 1 and 2 won't entertain them forever. And then you have all the older fans like myself remembering how much we love .hack. Right now, there are more people than ever thinking about .hack, and when people are thinking about .hack, they're talking about .hack. And when they see new .hack content being created, especially if it's something as old and reliable as, say, the first series, that'll get even more people talking about .hack. And the more people talk about .hack, especially on social media, the more people look into .hack, the more people decide to try .hack. This is the foundation upon which so many advertising campaigns are based. In short, you gotta strike while the iron's hot. While there are all these people right now talking about .hack, wishing, pleading for new content, give it to them. Give it to them while they know they want it. It'll get them that much more excited. They'll talk about it that much more. Again, this is advertising 101. Now, I can also already hear a lot of you guys saying, Kennedy, I think I would prefer seeing a brand new .hack series altogether. Wouldn't that get the same effect? It would, and I agree. I would also love a completely new .hack series. In fact, I'd prefer that to a re-release of the first series. But we're talking about a re-release of the first series today, so And now let's talk about that second reason. For the second reason, I want to go back to what I was saying earlier about how we got a bunch of new fans who really want more .hack content, and a bunch of old fans who are now thinking about .hack and wanting to relive more of it. Now, some of you watching this may be thinking, well, why don't they just take out their PS2, dust it off, and put into PS2 games? It's not exactly that easy. So, one of the ways in which .hack gets its claim to fame is that .hack titles tend to dominate rare and expensive game lists on the PS2. .hack Quarantine, the final game of the first series, particularly. Do you see this game in my hand? I paid $150 for it. Quarantine, you see, is a little infamous as being generally referred to as the second rarest and most expensive game on the PS2, second only to Rule of Rose. And even if you do have Quarantine, there are still 3 other games in the series you need to get, and they're significantly cheaper. You can generally get Infection Mutation Outbreak for anywhere between 10 and 35 bucks, depending on the condition. But that's still 3 games you need to get, and then you need to get Quarantine, which usually costs anywhere from $150 to $200. Most people can't just go play the first series as it is right now. It is completely inaccessible to most people. So all these fans can't just relive the first series because they don't just have $200 to blow on 4 games. I mean, as much as I love .hack, and believe me, I do, $150 for a video game is it's ridiculous. I mean, I did it once, but that's beside the point. So think about it this way, Bamco, if you're watching this. You make a re-release of the first series, and it costs $50, just like Last Recode. For the price of 3 of these games, I'm gonna call it Last Re-Quarantine. You could buy 3 Last Re-Quarantines or 1 .hack Quarantine. Now, I don't know about you, but getting the whole series for a third of the cost of one of the games, that, to me, the consumer, that sounds like a pretty sweet-ass deal. You could also think about it from this angle. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard a person say that they tried getting into the first .hack series, but then they stopped after Outbreak because they couldn't get their hands on Quarantine, I'd have enough nickels to go out and buy myself a copy of .hack Quarantine. Little known fact, that's how I got this one. Not really. And for that matter, there's also a lot of people out there I know who haven't picked up the first series because of that, because they don't want that cliffhanger, because they don't want the feeling of knowing that they can't beat it. If Quarantine alone were more accessible, there'd be so many more fans of the first series. But suddenly you'd be making Quarantine, no, you'd be making the whole series more accessible. So first of all, you got all these new and old .hack fans you got from Last Recode who just want more .hack content. You got people who recognize Kite and want to finally see what all the hype is about. You get the people who could never afford to get the whole series who can now suddenly afford it. You get those people who played the first 3 and were never able to play Quarantine because Quarantine was so expensive. You get the people who didn't want to pick up the first series because they were so intimidated by the price of Quarantine. If you decided to market this game from this kind of an angle, you could potentially get a lot of people on board for this game, because you could remind them that Quarantine is practically a cryptid of PS2 games, and suddenly you are putting it right here on a silver platter for them. Suddenly you have made this otherwise super inaccessible series so accessible, and people will like that. People will love that. Alright, so now you're on board, right? I hear you. You are ready for this. You are all aboard the IMOQHD hype train, and now you are sitting there wondering, well, gee whiz, Kennedy, what can I do? How do I show Bamco and CC2 that, to quote them, the demand is there? Well, I will tell you how you can let them know. First and foremost, I actually started a tweet once this reply from them came to light. A tweet with a screenshot of CC2 saying that they'd be open to the idea of a re-release of the first series, and I have CC2 tagged in it. And I said like and retweet this to show CC2 that you would in fact be interested in this, to show them that the demand is here. As of when I am filming this, there's almost 500 retweets on it, and frankly, I think we can get more on there. So I'm going to leave a link to that in the description, so please go like and retweet that. CC2 is tagged in it, so every time someone likes and retweets it, they get to see that there are X amount more likes and retweets on it, and they effectively see how many more people are interested in it. In addition to this, if you ever want to talk about it, tweet about it, anything, I actually got challenged by CC2 to make a hashtag for it, and so I did. I'm going to call it hashtag IMOQHD. I'm a social media genius, I know. So if you are ever out there on social media, especially on Twitter, talking about how much you want a re-release of the first series, go ahead and slap that hashtag on there. Let's see what this hashtag can do. But you know, another thought that this whole conversation about a re-release of the first series has opened is, do people want a remastering of the first series, Or do they want a total remake from the ground up? One of the cool things about .hack GU, even when it was on the PS2, was that from a gameplay perspective, it added a lot of polish to the original series. As great as the original series is, it did have its flaws. My biggest complaint, by far, about the first series is that you cannot see who's online and available to join your party, ever, and this bugged me so much. So playing GU, being able to see who was online, who was busy, who could join your party and who couldn't, oh my god, it was like God had descended from the heavens. And then Last Recode comes out, and Last Recode has effectively put more polish on what already gave the first series polish, that being .hack GU. So that is effectively 2 coats of polish. So there's a lot of people saying how much polish is too much before, with the amount of effort that they would have to put into a re-release of the first series in general. Would it be easier or more effective for them to just get all these changes from Last Recode and GU and just put them into the first series, or with the same amount of effort, should they just remake the game from the ground up? And by remaking the game from the ground up, you also add in the opportunity to add a lot of new content to it. Things like new side quests, new areas to explore, new greeting cards, new whatever the hell you can think of. And honestly, I'm fine with either. I mean, honestly, I'm of the belief that as long as I can play the first series on the PS4 and see who can join my party at any given time, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, that's all I want. So, in conclusion, what do we got going on? CC2 has confirmed that they are open to the idea of re-releasing the first series. There is a tweet on Twitter with CC2 tagged in it right now with almost 500 retweets as of right now that you can like and retweet to show Bamco and CC2 that it is in fact a thing that fans are interested in. The demand is here. And for that matter, talk about this on social media. Talk about how much you would love a re-release of the first series, and if you do it, bonus points if you use the hashtag IMOQHD. That way it's easier to find and easier to track how many people are talking about it, so please use the hashtag. And as always, please comment with your thoughts on this whole thing, whether you want a remake or a remaster, if you think it's a good idea in the first place. And for that matter, comment what changes you'd like to see made to the first series. You know, like, I think I've made it perfectly clear. I just want to see who's online when. But if there are any other little nitpicks you had about the first series, other things you'd like to see gone or improved upon, by all means, now is the time to talk about it. Now is the time to talk about what you want in the future of .hack, because now more than ever, there are more people out there talking about .hack than ever because of the release of Last Recode. So, to quote what I said earlier, we have to strike while the iron is hot. And on a closing note, or maybe I should say clothing note, I don't know if you can really get a good view of my shirt, but it's a 15th anniversary shirt, and you'll never believe where I got it. So for those of you who don't know, Bandai Namco has the .hack 15th anniversary shirts available on their website. I will leave a link in the description to where you can buy them, and I'm gonna be real with you, this shirt is pretty damn comfy. I'm not even lying. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag I wish it were sponsored. Bamco, CC2. Want to make it happen? Now, just a little caveat. I'm gonna be real with you. This shirt that I'm wearing was $40. And I'm gonna be real with you. $40, like, let's be perfectly real. That's a lot to pay for a shirt. It's just not .hack if it's not a little overpriced. So I'll let you decide whether or not you think it's worth it to get this shirt for $40. Again, I'm gonna be real with you, this is a comfy shirt, and for me, it was a worthy purchase because it's an official piece of .hack merchandise that is available in English-speaking countries. Speaking of which, I actually do not know if these are available in Europe. So if any of you are in Europe watching this and you try to get them and it says you can't, I'm sorry. I don't really have a way to test if it works in Europe or not. Anyway, this is the first piece of official .hack merchandise that's been available in the States at least since, God, I'm pretty sure since the first GU games came out. So for me, it was a worthy purchase, if nothing else, because it tells Bamco, hey, you see that .hack thing you guys have there? Yeah, I like it, and if you continue to give us merchandise for it, I'll continue to buy it. But yeah, link in the description if you want to go ahead and buy this shirt. Again, I'll be perfectly real. It's very comfy. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag I wish it were sponsored. Hashtag Bamco CC2. I'm telling you, hit me up, please. And finally, to close this video off, If the first series is released, I'll no longer end all my .hack videos with Entrance is best girl, because instead, now I can start saying it's elk. So who are your favorites of the optional party members from the first series? Because for me, it is all about Nuke and Gardenia.